Members, the committee has resumed on the New Zealand Security Intelligence Service Amendment Bill, and before the dinner break we were debating clauses 1 and 2. And Keith Locke has the call with 4 minutes remaining, if you show wish. Keith Locke.
Mr. Chairman, before dinner I was talking about the problem of removing from liability people who help the SIS in the execution of a warrant, and I said that when someone is performing a state function for any state organisation, it must be certainly taken into consideration the fact that they are obeying the dictates of their superiors in most cases, but I don't think there should be a formal exclusion of liability in all circumstances. That can lead to some people getting off some rather nasty and untoward behaviour potentially. So, and I think this is particularly true in the case of an agency that's so secret that is not subject to the Official Information Act in many regards, and it's got a let-out clause for matters of national security under the OIA, and that hasn't really got accountability mechanisms that are up to standard. For instance, the Inspector General of Intelligence and Security is a body people can appeal to if they ever find out they're being unjustly spied upon, which is often a bit difficult. But that position is essentially a part-time position, not very well staffed, and isn't, for all the goodwill in the world of the incumbent, the person who may be incumbent as Inspector General, it doesn't really act as a very good control agency for the SIS. And similarly with the Intelligence and Security Committee, and we've heard earlier in the debate about how it meets in secret. It doesn't meet very often, and it is made up of the Prime Minister and Labour leader and their appointees. They're busy people. They have spent a bit of time on this bill, which is to their credit, and come up with some positive amendments to the bill, but it isn't really a proper select committee of Parliament. It isn't up to the standard of some of the overseas intelligence committees in Western democracies in Britain and elsewhere, which have more teeth, get more information, and are more in the public domain in the sense of problems that arise are discussed openly, reports made and discussed. I think even if you look at the report back from the Intelligence Security Committee on the estimates and on the annual reports, there's virtually nothing there, no breakdown of expenses, and in that sense the powers we're giving to the SIS under this bill, and I talked about the liability clause, those powers are not really there's no real accountability mechanisms to either Parliament or the people, and that's one of the reasons why the Green Party is not for proceeding with this particular bill. Unlike the police, which has the Independent Police Conduct Authority, very rigorous examination at a proper select committee, the Law and Order Select Committee has all sorts of accountability mechanisms built in, has more of the public limelighted media on it, but where necessary it acts in a secret way if it's tracking down criminals that it's unwise to warn that the police are giving them some attention. So the police combines the necessary secretive element with the proper accountability. Unfortunately, the SIS, which has been given more powers under this bill, does not have those particular mechanisms.
The question is that Clause 1 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question is that Clause 2 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
58 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
42 votes in favour.
Green Party.
9 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
4 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Progressive.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Honourable Chris Carter.
1 vote against.
So is it Clause 1? 2. Clause 2. clause 2.
All right, then now I'll move mine.
Members, the ayes are 109, the noes are 10. Clause 2 will stand part. The Honourable Christopher Finlayson.
I move SOP 248, which divides the bill.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. I will report this bill without amendment and so divided.
The House is resumed. Mr Chairman.
Mr Speaker, the committee has considered the Telecommunications, TSO, Broadband and Other Matters Amendment Bill and reports it with amendment.
Order.
The committee has also considered the New Zealand Security Intelligence Service Amendment Bill and reports it without amendment and divided into the following bills. New Zealand Security Intelligence Service Amendment Bill, Crimes Amendment Bill number 3. Mr Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
So the question is that the report be adopted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. These bills are set down for third reading next sitting day. Call on Government Order of the Day number 3.